Hey guys, what's up? So there's been a little bit more of a break between the last video and this video. You probably didn't notice at all, but I've been sick this week, so I haven't really been feeling up to making a video. I'm still kind of sick, so hopefully I'm just not like nose running all over and making you guys just want to vomit. But hi, I'm here, and I took to Instagram to get a Q&A started, and I had you guys ask me some questions, so I just thought that I would answer your questions and go from there. I know this sounds kind of bad, but does your dick pass as cis after phalloplasty? And I'm gonna be completely honest with this one, and I'm gonna say it depends on the situation. Do I feel comfortable in a locker room changing? Yes. Do I feel comfortable using a urinal? Yes, I find it cis-passing in both of these situations. But I'm not gonna be like sending dick pics through Grindr because gay men know their dicks. So I wouldn't say it would be cis-passing in that situation. If your family wasn't supportive, like if you had to choose to either keep living basically a double life, yourself in public and with friends, suppressed and hidden with family, what would you do? I did that for a long time, actually. I did live like a double life. If you didn't know, like I didn't come out till I was about 27, I think, something like that. So I would definitely not choose to wait as long as I did if I could do it again. And I don't think anyone should live a double life. I feel like you'll just be much happier coming out sooner the better, and those who don't support you, you don't really need in your life anyways, and ultimately self-acceptance is the most important thing in life, or you're just not going to be happy anyways. And it sucks that you might lose people, and it happens. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen, but you're better off if you do, because if they don't love you for you, then what's the point, right? Do you feel different mentally after having the surgery? Yes, I would have to say definitely feel different mentally after having the surgery. First of all, I've grown a lot just because recovery from surgery is tough. So mentally, it is very, it's hard, especially anxiety, if you're someone who has anxiety. So I went through a lot of like panic and freak out over complications and stuff like that, but I feel like I'm stronger because of it. I also feel like when it comes to being in social situations, like for example at the gym, I'm not as self-conscious about like not having a bulge down there. I feel like having the option to use a urinal is amazing, so I feel less like I have to search out like a Starbucks specifically or a single stall restroom. I feel comfortable just knowing that I could go into a public restroom and use the urinal if I wanted to or had to or something along those lines. So mentally, I also feel more a part of what I identify as, and that is like, for example, I don't know, I feel like in conversation, like I work in a kitchen with a bunch of guys basically. I feel like I can kind of relate to them more in conversation of when they're talking about things or body parts or something along those lines. And yeah, I'll just stop there. Moving on. I'm 17 and want to start T. Do I need a parent to go with me? Yes, unfortunately, since you are under the age of 18, you will need consent from your parents. However, being 17, if you don't feel like your parents will consent to you starting T, just know that you're really, really close to being able to make that choice for yourself. Does Powell have a ton more complications compared to Blasty? I wouldn't say a ton more complications, and it depends on what you decide. There's some different options with Meta as there is with Phalloplasty, like are you getting urethral lengthening and things like that. I think both of them come with their own set of complications, and I don't see Phalloplasty as having something to be like a ton more complications, and it totally depends on the situation and the person and how you heal. I did have some complications, but I think all in all, pretty minor. You know, having a fistula or two is pretty common. Having a stricture is pretty common, and I didn't have anything crazy life-threatening, and I would say like totally worth it, totally worth whatever extra risk it might have been. And yeah, so that's my answer to that. Do you have full feeling in it? Not yet. It can take like up to a year and a half, I think, to get full sensation. I'm getting sensation back slowly. I get like, I just made a video on this actually on Monday, where it's like tingly, and then I could feel like soft touch brushing against it, or if like the shower water hits directly, that is almost like cringy. Like it's a really, really strong sensation. But I am starting to get like the more erotic sensation from base to tip. My right side is more sensitive than my left side, and things like that. How is peeing standing up? Do you have limitations? Do you have full function of it like a cis guy? Peeing standing up it feels normal. It feels like it's something that I've just naturally known how to do. I guess at first it took a little bit of getting used to, because it's new and you don't know exactly how it feels, but now it just feels completely normal and I love it. Actually, I think I spend a lot less time on my cell phone standing up to pee, because back when I used to have to sit, I would automatically just like bring out my cell phone, and I'd find myself like sitting on the toilet for way too long just scrolling through social media or whatever. So now that I just pee standing, I don't pull out my phone, and yeah, so it feels good. I love it. It saves time. Have you gotten complete mobility of your hand yet? I've read that sometimes it can be hard to get your hand as flexible as it has been because of the removal of nerves. So my mobility in my hand has gotten a lot better, especially within like the last like 3 weeks or so. And I think it has to do with getting back to work or being able to lift heavier weights, and it's really kind of pushed my hand back more. I bench pressed for the first time the other day, and I had no problem. I wasn't compensating on my right side at all. Push-ups, I could do those now, and it doesn't hurt. So not only do I have full mobility, it doesn't hurt. It does feel a little bit like it has to stretch out at first, like along this side of my arm when I first start doing push-ups or things like that. But I've really got most mobility back now, so that's awesome. How is sleeping now, like on your side or stomach? I haven't attempted sleeping on my stomach yet, although I am sleeping on my side a lot now, and it's amazing. My back was definitely getting tired of sleeping on my back, and now that I can sleep on my side, I'm sleeping a lot better. As for my stomach, I haven't gotten brave enough to try that yet. I've thought about it, haven't gotten there, but I'm sure I'll try it soon, and I'll let you know how that goes. Did you always know you wanted bottom surgery, or did dysphoria take a role in that? Well, I always knew that I wanted a penis. Did I always know I wanted bottom surgery? I can't say that I always knew that, actually, because I wasn't really well researched in it. So I had to do my research in it first to know if I wanted it or not. I think for a really long time, I didn't see it as being an option because insurance didn't cover things for trans surgeries. And so I kind of just like put it out of my mind that it wasn't an option. So I was just kind of dealing with the fact that it would never happen. So I just felt like it was impossible. And also I just kind of told myself that it wasn't good enough. And it was all kind of this like self-protection mode. Like I didn't do the research. I didn't even like look up results. I just kind of went over what a lot of people tend to spew out, like all the misconceptions about phalloplasty, like it doesn't look right, it doesn't work right, and I was like, those are the things that I used to tell myself in order to be okay with not having it. But after doing my research, I found that these are all things that are not true, that it all works correctly and it looks correctly for me and many others. And all I can say is like really do your research if you think that bottom surgery is something that you might consider before you just count it out or before you kind of spread misinformation. And so I think dysphoria definitely played a role in me wanting it, also educating myself and all those things like that. I mean, like I said, I always wanted a penis, so now I have one. Dreams do come true. What do you do to help with the swelling and pain in your hand? Creams or any certain medicine that helps? So I've been using this like essential oil blend that I got from a friend, and I do feel like it's helped fade my scar at least a little bit. I did notice the swelling go down a little bit after I started using it, although I'm skeptical on if that had anything to do with the oils or if it just had to do with like a change in weather, or just if I hit a certain point in my recovery that's when that happens. So yeah, I've been using this essential oil stuff. on my arm. I'll link down that product in the description below if you're interested in buying that for yourself. Do you think being trans will affect your career as a personal trainer? I don't think so particularly. I mean, it is a fear, but I think like generally in everyday life, it's kind of just like a non-issue. Like I'm just there to train people, and you're either a good trainer or you're not, and people are going to see that. They're not going to see whether you're trans or you're not. And so I also like to think that I've lived in both sides of the gender spectrum, so I know how each hormone system works, and I know what works and what doesn't when it comes to the female body and the male body and things like that. So it's almost like I feel like I have an advantage. I don't know if everyone's going to see it that way, but all in all, I think what's going to matter the most is if you're a good trainer or not. How long did it take for the swelling from top surgery to go away? I had top surgery 5 weeks ago, drain-free, and still really tight. So I didn't have a lot of swelling from top surgery, actually. It was kind of surprising. I didn't have drains either, and I had a lot of tightness post-op, but I didn't have a lot of swelling, thankfully. And I think that took a good like 8 weeks for me to kind of start getting full mobility back, and even longer. Like sometimes I would sleep wrong, or I'd sleep with like my arm up, and I'd wake up and get like really intense like stretching kind of pain. But it slowly went away. I'm all good now. I don't think it took any longer than like 3 months or something crazy like that. So hang in there. Not in an overly personal way, but what type of sensation do you have at this stage? I got a lot of questions about sensation. If you want to know more about sensation, go back to the last video I made. I talk about sensation a lot more in that video, and it's the same since a few days ago. You know, getting more and more as time progresses, but it could take like a year and a half, I believe. So I'll keep you updated on the sensation, since that seems to be a common curiosity for you all. And that wraps up this Q&A. I want to thank you guys so much for those of you who submitted questions. Keep an eye out for any more questions or Q&A chances on Instagram. And also, if you have any more questions, of course, leave them down below. And thank you so much, guys, for all your support and for watching. And I will see you next time. Peace out.